welcome to another exciting episode of Token Games Podcast, Speculation Edition. I'm your host and sometimes referee, the friendly neighborhood Zax Pearson. And today, here comes a new crossover, our, I want to say, 15th guest to the YouTube channel. You know him, you love him, and if you don't, he's got 4 guns and he'll shoot you with all of them. One Rakunx.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Zax. It's a pleasure to be here, man.
All right, Rakun, why don't you tell them where they can find you real quick? I want to make sure everyone can promote thyself.
No worries. So you can find me most active on YouTube. So that's just Rakunx on YouTube. And just search up some Bayonetta 3 theories and hopefully you'll see my name up there. I'm also active on Instagram and Twitter. Same tag. And yeah, hopefully get to meet some other people.
All right. And just in case anyone's curious or, one unwilling to put in a little bit of effort it takes to scroll down into the description, I'll make sure there's also links to him at the end of the video in the end card section. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No problem, bro. All right. So first and foremost, I just like to tell people off the bat, this isn't your channel. So whatever normal restrictions you give yourself, don't worry. They don't exist here. You can be as normal or as strict as you want to be. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. Now, as far as everyone is already aware, based on the title of this video, obviously, we're going to be discussing certain things in relation to the Bayonetta series, but primarily 3. However, there will be time steps, for lack of a better term, because the way I want to structure this is everyone can go to Rakun's section first, because he's the guest, and then after that I will time skip and I will go through those same questions and I will have it set for the back half to just be me. So here are the questions just so you guys can know what you want to look for. Please utilize the numbers in the video so you can know where to time skip to. Number 1, what weapons would you like to see return from previous games? Number 2, do you ever think we'll get a true crossover with Devil May Cry, seeing as how the production staff even have some of the same team members? Number 3, do you think we'll ever get playable story mode for any of the cast members or just pallet swaps? Number 4, I personally feel like we will primarily be fighting aliens in this new game. Because of this, I'm inclined to believe we may get weapons that don't adhere to normal concepts that the game traditionally uses. Medieval or Far East weaponry. So if this ends up happening, what kind of new weapons or weapon features would you like Rodin to craft up? Number 5, do you think Rodin is Lucifer or a being that can move between dimensions? I'll also be dropping my theory on why I think this may be, and don't worry, I'll keep it short. Number 6, what possible reason do you think Rodin, a near god tier being, is running a bar on Earth even for? That's been bugging me since the first game. Man, that's been bugging me over a decade. Wow, that's kind of bad.
Oh man.
Yeah, and finally, closing statements and gushing on what we want to see happen in the new title, as if we weren't already going to do that throughout the course of the whole entire video. All right, so Rakun, why don't you go ahead and knock us out with what you want to discuss as far as 1 through 7?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going through that chronologically. I think that'll be easier for you, easier for me. So yeah, if that's all right with you with question 1.
Yeah, go right ahead, bro.
So the first question, for starters, what weapons would you like to see return from previous games? I love this one. So I think bringing back all the weapons, even the hidden ones from Bayonetta 1, like Pillow Talk, Siphon, and Bazillions, they didn't really showcase them in Bayonetta 2. So we can bring back the nostalgia factor, especially for the veterans, like yourself as well. But I play Bayonetta 2 a lot more. So Shonobog, Love is Blue, the Alruna, the Whip, of course. And most importantly, I gotta go with my one and only Undyne, the Hot and Cold. My Rodin Slayer, my Freezer Burn. I freaking love that mechanic.
Did you, hold on, did you say Rodin Slayer?
Yeah, I use that as my Rodin Slayer.
Hey, I'm not mad at you, man.
One, yeah.
I'll get into how I beat Rodin, because Rodin took me, half a day or more. I was one of those guys who I was so close to throwing my system across the room, but I'm just aggravated at the way I beat him, but we'll get into that later.
No worries, man. It's just like, were you talking about Bayonetta 1 or Bayonetta 2? Which one?
2. 2, he was a real dick.
Yeah, it's just too BS. I feel it was kind of unfair, but I don't know. I think the people who stick to it, who kept persevering, just stayed in it.
So you're referring to Ninja Gaiden fans? Gotcha.
Wait, sorry. No, I haven't played Ninja Gaiden, man.
Oh well, speaking as someone who I don't know why I like to suffer, Ninja Gaiden is basically
Yeah.
the hard mode of Devil May Cry and Bayonetta combined, but that's their normal mode.
Oh, that's their normal. Okay. Wow.
Again, I'm speaking as someone who's been dumb enough to suffer through 90% of every Ninja Gaiden game ever, 2D and 3D. Put it this way, 3 hits in normal or even hard mode can kill you, whereas in almost any other game, 3 hits are not going to kill you from a normal enemy.
Yeah. I see.
Oh, and everybody can auto-suicide on you. Yeah, that's fun.
Wow. Okay. So like the key to that is just don't get hit at all, isn't it? Try your best not to get hit. You know.
Basically, and that's practically never going to happen because unlike you, the enemies have homing missiles and they shoot guns. There are no guns used by the ninjas in the entirety of this franchise.
I am very sorry.
Yeah, and the guns are almost pre-programmed to never miss. So realistically, you're either blocking or you use a substitution because those guns don't miss. They're aimbots.
Oh man, like and people still play it, right? I think it's the
yes, I know something's wrong with me. I don't know why I'm like this.
No, you're all right, man. Like you just wanna play for the thrill.
Bro, here's the worst part. You know what you get when you beat a Ninja Gaiden game?
What do you get? Nothing.
Not a damn thing. Oh wait, you get a costume. Man. Ooh, a costume.
That's it. Why do they do this to us?
Because they want us to suffer. That's the problem. I know that's what they're doing. Ninja Gaiden first came out in 2000. I played and beat every single game. And here I am in 2020. And every time I ask myself, why do I like hurt myself like this?
I mean, with Rodin, at least you get the Rodin rings, and those were OP weapons. You know, you felt something. But with Ninja Gaiden, man, I feel you. I'm very sorry.
But sorry for taking over your question. Go ahead and move on to number 2 or 1. Yeah, go on to move to number 2 if you want to stay on number 1.
Oh, good. So I think, do you have anything else that you want to say for number 1, by the way? Like any weapons that you think you would like to see return?
Yes, but I'm going to sound like a gushing schoolgirl watching her pop star high school crush. So I'm going to save it for when it's my turn.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so for question number 2, I was asked, like, do I ever think we'll get a true crossover with DMC, seeing how the production stuff even have some of the same team members?
Yeah.
Okay, so again, I love this question. Like having 2 mediums of the same creator, and this is just my personal opinion. They can prove me wrong for all I care. It's inevitable people are going to ask for this. So for DMC and Bayonetta, the only way I can see a crossover is that of an entirely new game, a non-canon variation where we get to see how their gameplay mechanics fuse, see how what I love and how sorry, Zax. What I love to see the most is how their character personas interact, and that's just fan service that we really want to see. So no canon, but still enough for the audience to appreciate. They did this with Fairy Tail X-Rave in one amazing quick OVA. So again, I think it's going to be a separate DMC game, which I think I believe Mr. Kamiya had showed interest in. I wouldn't say that they will do a canon one. Yeah, he showed interest
3 times over the course of 6 years.
Oh wow, okay. I mean, if they do end up going with it, I think it would have to be non-canon, like to not interfere with both stories. But if they want to prove me wrong, more than welcome to. But yeah.
Okay, I mean, you can move directly to the next question.
Oh yeah, sure, no worries. I thought you were just gonna say something. Okay, so for number 3, do I think we'll ever get a playable story mode for any of the cast members or just a palette swap? For palette swap, I think it's much easier to implement, and it's such a favorable feature for people who have different, favorite colors. They did this with Bayonetta's extra costumes. You have A, B, and C variants. So I don't see why they wouldn't continue this in Bayo 3. As for different playable story modes, 100%. They wanted to do this with Young Boulder in Bayo 2, but they couldn't due to time constraints. The best they could do now, especially with the thought of alternate timelines, playing as our Bayonetta, then playing as Brave Cereza, then John, then another. I feel they want to do it because they didn't get to last time, and the alternate timeline arc is a perfect fitting lore opportunity, I guess, to add this gameplay mechanic in. So I think that would be pretty interesting. I would love. That means more gameplay for us, So I wouldn't say no to that. Question 4.
I mean, like I said, bro, you're just going through all the questions. I'm not gonna interrupt you. That would be rude.
Oh, okay. I thought like the first question, but okay, no worries. I'll go with question 4. But if you want to interrupt, well, by all means, you're more than welcome to me.
Oh, well, I appreciate it.
All right. So for question 4, I personally, you said you personally feel we will primarily be fighting aliens in new game.
Yes, expect interruptions for this one, but I have a genuine, I don't know what you would call it. You call them theories, some call it lore. I think I call it more of like an oversight that nobody caught, or either something that people didn't realize when literally, and ironically, even though this is about Bayonetta 3, this comes from me just recently going through Bayonetta 1, or more specifically, the entire going through the like entirety of the ending stage, and also all the story elements for the last stage of Bayonetta 1. There's some things that just look eerily, I don't know, reminiscent of one another that I was going to touch on, but go ahead and say what you was going to say.
I don't know. I understand, like, if you have the what was it, the oversight of aliens. So if it ends up happening, what kind of new weapons or weapon features would I like Rodin to craft up? So on the basis of there will be aliens, so based on that oversight, I think Rodin's definitely going to have to bring the weapons to the 21st, 22nd century.
Thank you.
And what I mean by that is it'd be fitting to bring in lasers, ray guns, bring like bazillions even, you know, the retro 80s futurism that I know Mr. Kamiya is a huge fan of. Again, if we're going to go on the theory of aliens, which I talked about in my recent video, shout out to Sniper Iguana, by the way, possibly even a hybrid of older weapons to newer weapons. And, you know, and what I mean by that is like possibly similar to Astral Chain.
I'm so glad you put that thought in my head. I never would have thought of that. Oh my God, thank you so much. I'm pretty sure you thought of it first. Fusion weapons? Yes, please.
Oh, I think, have you played Astral Chain? I haven't played Astral Chain. But,
I just got it recently. All my friends were telling me, dude, you need to go get this game. Well, look, in my defense, I had to hunt down a PS5, okay? It's hard out here.
Oh, man. I'm very sorry. Yeah, even here in Sydney, like, no one has a PS5 yet. I'm like, what? Wow, really?
I literally think I'm one of the luckiest people in the world when it comes to getting a PS5. Man. Because I have a direct supply chain for PlayStation 5s, and they hate charging scalper prices, and they hate scalpers, and they're in walking distance from me, and I can just go in there. The owner has my number. I was like, bro, listen, when's the next time you getting one? This is the exact date I'm getting it. Oh, okay. Can I get it? Okay. Well, if you know anybody else who want it, let me know. I'm not letting scalpers get them. And I was like,
that's so cool, man.
Yeah, and I might have accidentally made him a millionaire, but I mean, you're not gonna hate somebody who accidentally made you a millionaire. So
yeah, exactly. I'm so happy that you got a PS5, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story about it when we get near the end of this. It's kind of hilarious. Theoretically, it should have been broken the way I was playing it for 2 weeks. Okay. But like I said, I'll wait till we're at the end.
Yeah, no problem. So Astral Chain, like fusion weapons. I think maybe as a weapon feature, maybe you can possibly having more, like you can fuse more than two or more weapons. Like in Nier Automata, they also did a level up system for the weapons, not necessarily like so. Imagine not necessarily. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying I played Nier Automata.
Oh yeah. So I would say not to put a level up system for Bayonetta, but more so just the weapons, just to make them much more interesting than the 2 previous games. But yeah, that's my stance on if there will be aliens. I think that'll be pretty cool. If there will be aliens, that's my thought on it.
Okay. Interesting.
All right. So no, thank you, man. And I'm glad that you thought of the same thing as well. I'm so happy. So with question 5, do I think Rodin is Lucifer? Oh, I love this. Or a being that can move between dimensions? You'll also be dropping your theory. I can't wait to hear your thought on this.
So, and this is the super short version because I want to provide context. Okay, so
that's okay.
Rodin is supposed to be, at least story-wise, the bare minimum we know about him is that he's a fallen angel. Meaning that, as we all know, the angels can move between, freely at least, the Bayonetta equivalent of heaven and earth, meaning they're barred from hell unless they're literally dragged into hell, which is a very hilarious and funny movie. We'll talk about maybe some other time, but they normally can't go unless a literal interdimensional gate is open and they can go directly into it. But if Rodin literally died and went to hell, that means that his fallen angel status doesn't necessarily go anywhere. It just means that instead of just falling to earth, he is now a fallen angel who has been to hell. So since Rodin kind of sort of has a devil trigger, let's call a spade a spade. It's a damn devil trigger. And
yeah, true.
yeah, and if Rodin has a devil trigger, but he also has supernatural strength in his earthly form, his human form, but he also has supernatural strength in his heavenly form, then Rodin is literally one of the only beings who not only can move between the three realms, but also someone has to allow that. Remember, the only thing stopping there is nothing saying that the angels can't manifest in the hell other than the fact that they have no way of directly getting there. But since something, which scares me to think about, something killed Rodin at the beginning or before Bayonetta 1, which is why we had to revive him from the dead, he now has gained something that no angel has ever gotten, which is the ability to move between heaven, earth, and hell freely, right? But he can also make, and this is where it caught me, of all things, me just hearing that, hey, I heard this in a video game once. What are you buying? That threw me off for a second. I was like, wait a minute. This motherfucker is in a bar. But he's a super omnipotent, super strong being. And he literally does not have to work for a living. And also he can create a direct dimensional gate to his actual physical bar. So when you're in Bayonetta 2, people forget this, but you're pretty much in pseudo Italy, or you're in the Italian peninsula in a fake place called Vigrid. But when you go to his bar, theoretically, his bar is still on mainland North America, as referenced by the map. When you get the main opening scene and you fly off, fly off into another country, that's where his bar is. So this man has if he's a man, has the ability to make interdimensional space-time gates. Literally, there's only the only people we've seen doing that have been deities. But if he's a deity who actually got his cheeks clapped, that has to mean that someone tried to take his god status, or he had his god status revoked, but he kept his powers. Because there is no explanation for anybody who is less than the god to be able to move you through time and space. Because let's go through the list of people who were able to move through time and space. Literally, it begins and ends with that pseudo weakened nerf version of Jubileus, the final boss of Bayonetta 1. Spoilers, that really even counts at this point. Old as that game is. And then in Bayonetta 2, we saw Aesir literally could look at you from his globe of time or whatever, because it didn't really have a name, and he could pull you out of it like Whis from Dragon Ball Super and look through it like Whis from Dragon Ball Super.
Right.
And then he even grabbed a satellite out of nowhere, because how would he even know a satellite is there? And then he went back in time and forward through time, and I'm just like, bro, the only people who can do this have been gods or people who were very close to godhood. Rose, what's your excuse, Rodin? What's your excuse, bro? And that's how I came to that conclusion.
I see. I love that. You took the words right out of my mouth, man. Like, Rodin has some sort of, I completely agree, has some sort of connection, or at least a prior connection to a deity or a higher being. He's had that history. But yeah, he does seem to have the same backstory as Lucifer. Like, by dimensions so far, I see him being able to travel between, Paradiso, Inferno, Chaos. I love that. I love how you brought that connection of, like, that's only a deity type of thing to do, freely, by the way. So I love how you said that. As of Lucifer's Rodin, same origin, was the commander of a portion of Paradiso, but then was banned by the moderators. It's the fact that he was the strongest character, as Platinum Games confirmed. So I think it's having such an abundance of experience in every world that he's been through would grant him such power.
And let me remind you of something.
Yeah.
Bayonetta 2, when you first experienced Rodin, I don't think anybody, even if they don't even remember the stage, no one forgets that when you first see Rodin, this mug is two-shotting X-bosses and X-mini-bosses. Bayonetta kind of does the Devil May Cry thing. They will make a mini-boss look like a boss, and then you find out 3 stages later, he's just a side piece, right? He was doing that without utilizing demon power and without utilizing holy power.
Yeah, he was like, he was chaosing, stealing my kills and whatnot. So
and he has that omnidirectional barrier, which is made of, I'll say it's just for this argument, that it's made of demonic energy. So my thought is that this guy, even though he looks like he only uses one energy at a time. He actually, I think he can only use demonic powers when he's demonic. He can only use angel powers when he's angelic. But when he's in the middle, he has access to both.
Yeah, okay. I see.
Anything that would be able to do that would have to be something that doesn't follow the normal rules of Bayonetta logic. At least as far as we know right now, until inevitably we learn some new canon.
And hopefully we get to see him canon or into the story for Bayonetta 3. Like, what's the origin of his power? Why is he so strong? Why does Platinum Games still confirm him to be the strongest? So yeah, I absolutely love this question. Like, is Rodin connected to a deity? Is he connected with a higher power? Has he had a history with a higher power? I had a thought like he could be connected with the god of Purgatorio that we haven't seen yet. But yeah, that's my thoughts on question 5.
Yeah, and my main thing is I don't think anyone really just. The one thing that has always bothered me to know is besides the fact that why is no one questioning why something this powerful is literally has a 9 to 5 running a basic bar. He's over here having conversation with Enzo. You know damn well you ain't paid your bar tab. I'm like, bitch, you can smite him.
You deadbeat motherfucker.
Exactly.
Like, oh man.
Exactly. And I'm just like, bro, you literally can open a gate to hell directly below his feet and just go, where my money at? And yet he's over here talking to him like, so cool. You know, that old friend who knows that he can get away with shit he normally can't because you're old friends. It's like that. It's like, now this is off topic, but people don't expect it, but apparently it's almost like an urban legend among my friends that I'm a very good baker, and my specialty is cheesecakes. And not regular exotic cheesecakes, right? So sometimes my friends come over, they will see a cheesecake or two on the stove. I'm getting them cold or I'm experimenting, and I'll say, I'm not going to eat all this. And they will eat it without asking me half of it. And then when I tell them, oh, well, I'll just buy you another one, it's like, no, I made those. Like, no, you didn't. While they're still eating it in front of my face. That's what it feels like. Oh, my goodness. I'm just like, you know, if I hadn't known you for 15 years, I would literally throw you out a window right now.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's like that with Rodin. And people, like, as you said, people, like, it goes over their heads of how strong this person is.
Yeah, like no one really cared until Bayonetta 2 cutscene. If you played him as a secret boss, I heard a lot of people back in the day, they just thought it was a special guest star, a special thing that wasn't real or canon in any way, shape, or form. There was actually on GameFAQs.com, of which I've got one of the highest titles available. Not a brag, but that just means I've been there a long time. I'm at icon status. Okay. Yeah, which is like, that's all right. Like level 36 out of 40 or 50. And oh wow! Yeah, like I said, I'm an old mofo on GameFAQs. They were actually having debates on if Rodin fighting him was even a part of the actual story or lore or canon. And I was just like, okay, I can understand why y'all got that. I can understand why y'all think like that. I honestly get it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think regardless if it's canon or not, I heard like some tweets and I think some interviews that Platinum Games said they were canon, but like I don't think anyone's beaten Rodin on the first try blindly though. That's my take.
I've only seen one person get close, and I feel so bad. Oh, really? And I feel so bad for her because no one believes her, and I was the only witness, and it's so sad. She said, really? Oh, I got him down to his half. He only had half of his final HP bar left. But then, you know, my dog came in and I wanted to play with it and I got distracted. And no one believes her, but I was there to witness her greatness. It was insane. I just here's the crazy part. I gave her Devil May Cry 1 3 months earlier, and she got bit by the bug we've all been hopefully stuck with for the rest of our lives, whether we're too old to do combos or not. And she skipped everything and went to Bayonetta 1. Didn't know Rodin was a secret fight. So she had Bayonetta 2 on her Wii U. And oh, wow, okay. And I came out the bathroom and it's like, oh, hey, what you doing? Like, oh, I'm almost done with the bald guy. I was like, the bald guy? The bald guy? Rodin? Oh, I call them weaponsmiths. All weaponsmiths look alike to me. It's like, wow, if you change the words on that, that would be a problem statement. So she starts laughing, I start laughing, and then her dog comes in and just messing with her, playing with her feet. And I looked down and was like, you've almost got him dead on your first try?
Oh my God. This was Bayo 1?
No, this is Bayonetta 2.
Bayo 2?
She went from Devil May Cry 1 to Bayonetta 2, and she was kicking ass. She didn't play anything in between. Man. I was like, you shouldn't exist.
Like that's a really good skill, mate. Like
that is
hand-eye
scary.
coordination to the max.
Yes, and this is one of the things I keep telling people. Like, some people don't realize that they could probably do really well in other aspects of life based on previous things they've done. Like, I've been saying for the longest time,
true.
if a boxer was a fencer, they could probably do some damage. Because of their speed would be practically unheard of for the sport. And then piano players, what if piano players play fighting games with big arcade sticks?
Okay.
They're always used to moving their hands around. I'm just like,
they got the muscle memory and whatnot, you know?
She's the only person. Yeah.
Wow. I believe you. Don't worry, I believe you. At least
it's fine.
I
It's like, I know, I've accepted. And this is before, I had any capture equipment. But yeah, why do you think he would possibly be running a damn bar?
Okay, so he's that character. So the character that's the strongest, again, confirmed by PG. So he's just on the sideline doing his own thing. I would say he's the, I guess, Deus Ex Machina archetype. Like Mereoleona from Black Clover, Captain Marvel, MCU, Gojo Satoru, Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, they only intervene when it's crucially necessary. And because of their experience and strength, they have their own, little side hustle that they're so bored with. They're so bored of life. They're so strong. They have that side hustle to have. I think Rodin loves bartending from his playful interaction in the prologue. And 2, he uses it as a Halo laundering scheme, or now it's the Magatama scheme probably in Bayonetta 3, for his real passion, which is blacksmithing and weaponsmithing and whatnot. So I think he just has that bar because he enjoys it, and he's just experienced so much in his life, and I'm pretty sure he's more than 1,000 years old by this time. And now he's just doing his own thing, weapon making and of course bartending. So yeah, that's just like his little passion. I think everyone has their hobbies, and I'm glad that the writers wrote him like that. And he's not just some stronghold boss waiting for you to challenge him. He has some relatable instincts to him, and yeah, that's I think that's the most plausible thing. That I would think he has a bar. And I love how you like that question too.
Yeah. Well, when we get to my part, you're going to be in your feels, because my answer is 10 times darker than what you said.
I can't wait to hear that.
All right. So I guess that brings us into, what do you want to see in the new title, as if you haven't already answered and said that a billion times?
Without what I see with the new closing statements, and what I want to see is, like, optimistically, this game is going to be amazing. People have been waiting over 7 years for it, and I think it's best to just appreciate the positives, be aware of the negatives, show your critiques, then express them respectfully, but also remember to enjoy the game. Again, it's only the second trailer. What I want to see, I hate to be the plug, but we have over 85 videos on what I'd want in the future of Bayonetta on our channel, Rakunx.
No hate, congratulate.
Sorry, what was that?
I said no hate, congratulate.
Thank you so much, Ben. But yeah, so the Demon Masquerade is one of my biggest loves for Bayonetta. We theorized that like a year ago that there will be a time where you'll be able to fuse with your Madama, and we were just
Devil
so happy
trigger.
when we saw
I'm sorry, some got
devil trigger.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, the devil trigger.
Something got stuck in my
We've
throat.
been
I'm
waiting.
so sorry.
No, you're all right, man. Like, we've been waiting for that devil trigger for Bayonetta. Like, I saw it in Death Battle. I saw it in a lot of people playing with Devil May Cry. I'm like, why doesn't Bayo have that? So if they do implement it in Bayo 3 as a good thing, if they don't butcher it, hopefully, I'm pretty sure they won't. But yeah, Demon Masquerade, seeing Bayonetta, our Bay right there, like, that was a huge thing for me. But yeah, those are my hopes for it.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's my turn now. So I hope your seatbelt is still on. All right. For starters, what weapons would I like to see return? Well, man, that's really a tough. Please give me Sci-Fong, man. That's all I asked you for. Before this game came out, I went to the Twitter. I went to the Facebook. I went to the literally figuring out how to translate their names in the Google Translator so I could ask them on Twitter. Please give me Sci-Fong. If you give me Sci-Fong, I will do the striptease pole dance at the end of the credits in 3, or at the time 2. Please let me get Sci-Fong. Nothing in the entirety of action games feel like that. Action hack and slash have no weapons that directly compare to Sci-Fong, and you can quote me on that as someone who has been playing this type of games since 1994. Okay, quote me on that, please. That's all I want. When someone told me, oh hey, fun fact, you know those weapons that are on the wall in the back of the cutscene? Yeah. Oh, you can go and unlock all those. Well, what about that one? Oh yeah, that's the nunchuck. Man, wouldn't it be funny if she went and did some like Bruce Lee type moments and got some Bruce Lee pants? And look what happened. I love / miss Sci-Fong. Please give it back to me. I don't care if you make a DLC. I'll be a little salty, but I don't care as long as I get it back. Or give me a weapon that acts like it and looks like it. If you can bring back Demon Slayer and put a new coat of paint on it and make it look like the Blade of Evil's Bane, one of the nicknames people forget for the Sword of Hyrule, why the fuck can't I get my Sci-Fong, man?
I'm pretty sure they have to. They have to bring this in. It's such an iconic thing for Bayonetta 1, especially for a lot of the people who were so loyal to it.
You know how shit works in the game industry. And this is one of the original creators of people that worked on Hitman. Well, back in the day, and sometimes even to a more prevalent extent in the far east, us video game designers, mind you, this is barely a paraphrase. Us video game designers will think we're doing the right thing when we get to game number 2 or 3, and then we'll sit on our ivory towers, and then when it comes out, find out, okay, this one thing we thought was the bomb, you guys didn't like. And I feel like that mindset is still there. In fact, Maximilian Dude has spoken on this, and I've spoken about it too, because people didn't believe me from the times I've met developers well before I ever went to E3. And there's this, it's a phrase, and it's even on Wiki, it's got its own Wiki page, so you know it's bad. It's called not made here, or it's the Japanese equivalent of saying not made here, which is the belief that because you don't have something readily available or have direct access to it in this country, you shouldn't try to attain it from another place or even seek to go after it, even if it's been tailor-made for you. And it's annoying, but it's a real thing, and a lot of developers used to think like that, and it's a pain in the balls. So the way I look at it when it comes to Platinum games, they always said that they like to do what they want to do. They get that people need to buy what they like, but they try to make games for themselves. And if you're trying to make a game for yourself, you're not necessarily thinking about Sci-Fong. So that's why I say, at a bare minimum, they should do like Smash Brothers for the Smash Brothers 4. Hey, who do you want the last 2 characters to be? And that's how we pretty much got, Cloud and Bayonetta in the first place. Hey guys, what weapons do you want to see return? Don't worry, we won't change anything, but we'll charge you $5 for it. I'm salty, but I will buy it. I will reluctantly buy it.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, we would. Well, I know you gonna buy it. That goes without question. But I'll even like, and if they only do weapons that were unique, like don't nothing feel like the ice skates. The ice skates were a very unique situation.
Oh yes, okay.
I would love to go through. I would love to get my Sci-Fong back. Other than that, I'm already assuming it's not going to show up, so I'm just going to say in advance I want to see it return because there was some missed potential and opportunities with it. I want to see a return of the hammer. But what I want to see is, ironically, a fusion weapon. I love that whip, the Bayonetta 2 version of it. People don't realize, like, if you catch somebody in a witch time, you can actually throw them no matter what size they are, including the bosses.
That's correct. That's
correct. And then they're so free, and you get a happy birthday for like the next 30 seconds, even after the witch time is over. I loved it, but not many people caught on to it. I want to see that come back, but since we can't put the hammer on our feet, bring that whip back and make it grab the hammer, so when we swing our foot, it swings the hammer. Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
That's cool. There was a dumb toy that I don't know why people loved before in the 90s that we had. It was called Skip Beat. I think that's what it was. Literally, it was basically like a ball and chain, like with Chain Chomp, but it would go around your foot, and you could actually time how many times it went around your foot. It was literally.
Yes, I remember.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
yeah.
Yeah, well,
in primary school, we played with it. Yeah.
I think we just dated ourselves, but it was basically our generation's equivalent of a slinky. It's stupid. It serves no purpose, but we all wanted it.
But it's so good.
I know, exactly. We all wanted it, but it was dumb. I acknowledge it though. Yeah. So that's what I really want. I want the dual whip back because the single whip was dumb. But if you can fuse it with the hammer, that'd be great. So now I can swing it with my feet. I'm pretty sure it'll be slow because it'll do the most damage. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a secret hidden weapon like with Sci-Fong because of the damage level. But that's what I'm looking for. Now,
Oh, that's all right. Like, yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
yeah. Now for number 2, look, I've spoken to people. It doesn't come up in a lot, and people don't think to ask, but I, without realizing it, have a decent level of connections to people that have worked on Devil May Cry and indirectly / by extension Bayonetta. And no, it's not a private thing. It was a long time ago, but I interviewed Ruben Langdon. However, you know, me and him have been talking for years since then, and I actually have his actual cell phone number on my phone.
That's cool, man.
And here's a weird one, and take this how you will. There's a guy named Hanzo who works on Japanese games. But guess what? There's 3 of them. They're different people, but there's a Hanzo that worked on Devil May Cry, or at least I think he's the one that worked on Devil May Cry, or he's just a guy who's got the same alias as Hanzo and just happens to know him, and he wants to keep his life completely and totally private. He's not like a snitch or giving out secrets. He's just scared of the internet, so he called himself Hanzo. But the other guy, I guess he's a public figure, but he still doesn't have social media. People don't realize it, but almost every game you play and like, usually the people who made them are 20 years older than you. So most of the people that I play, make the games I like, they're in their 50s and 60s. Like no joke, 50s and 60s. So they just don't care about social media. And I talked to this Hanzo and I was like, hey, are you one of the ones that worked on Bayonetta or Devil May Cry? Or I think Devil May Cry. I was like, because I know there's a DMC 4 or a special edition. There's a Hanzo in the credits. And I think in DMC 3, there's also a Hanzo in the credits. And I'm like, are you the same guy? Because there was a time when I was actually looking for the creator of Devil May Cry, or at least, I'm sorry, not the creator, the dude who got in charge of it after Hideki Kamiya, Hideki Itsuno. And I found him, and we've spoken on Twitter a few times. And
that's cool.
Yeah, and that was just through me going through my chain of people who are directly or indirectly connected to things. And man, I've learned so much about behind the scenes Capcom. It's almost funny. That place is a leaky faucet. It doesn't matter if somebody hacked them or not. They honestly, the Japanese section, they almost never really enforce the no snitching rule. It's just that they don't know how to find people, or they're not even trying to track the people, so they just gave up apparently at some point in time in the early 2000s. So it's very easy for people, if you know the right person, to get some leaked information out of Capcom, because the old staff do not care. And you can quote me on that. However, finding them is basically impossible unless you live in Japan, because again, almost none of them are on social media. So
wow, I see.
Yeah, like almost all Generation 1 Capcom staff are gone because they didn't like the work hours and they hated their boss, but they won't say that out loud. But almost the minute Platinum Games was an inevitability. And in fact, they weren't even the first ones to have the idea to just not like their long work hours and leave. So some people are just a leaky faucet because the worst that's gonna happen to them is literally nothing. But yeah, so I just got to talking like, what do you think the odds are? And he says, oh, do you want me to check for you? I was like, you can do that? Bro, I was asking you directly. Bro, I'm asking you directly. Well, wait, didn't you say you're not the one that worked on it? You're not the Hanzo that worked on it? It's like, well, no, but I still know 5 to 6 people that did work on it. I was like, holy shit. How deep does this rabbit hole go? And that's when I started to realize, man, I'm more connected than I realized. And then, yeah, I know, like, what are the odds? So I was like, okay, listen, I'm not telling you to do something or get some direct quotes that'll get me or you in trouble. Oh, nothing's going to happen to me. I was like, but that's not my point, though. So look, I just told him, look, Hanzo, if you know where to get or talk to the Devil May Cry Hanzo, the Bayonetta Hanzo, or anybody besides, you know, the action choreography people, like the producer, the name everyone forgets, because Hideki is not the producer. People forget that. Until they made that Devil May Cry 4 special edition interview, almost everyone forgot that Hideki is not the producer. He's just the director. He was never the producer. It's kind of funny. It's just, you will see the name in big credits, but the face is what you attach. So I was like, look, listen, this is what I really want you to do. I want you to gauge how easy is it for Bayonetta, specifically Bayonetta and Dante, to appear in the same place. And this leads into that statement that I typed while you were talking. Oh, they already did. I was like, are you serious right now? Don't lie to me. Where is it? Here's the thing though. I'm asking him this on April 2nd. So I'm like, don't fuck with me, man. Now, I don't know what you know about North America, but we have a holiday called April Fool's Day. Literally, it's the goal of people, even big corporations, to try to prank you. So it's like, and this is the day after. But I'm just like, man, please don't be messing with me. He's like, no, it's okay. Listen, I'll link you to it. So apparently there's a Shin Megami Tensei game where Dante and Bayonetta are in there, which would sound like a cool idea. However, it's one of the gotcha money gambling games.
Yeah.
So if you get Dante, you probably spent like $100. If you get Bayonetta, you probably spent like $100. I'm like, bro, that's not what I meant. I just want to point out that's not what I meant.
Man. Okay.
So I talked to him and I said, listen, do you know off chance if anybody in the production team maybe has some issues? Like, no. The people that met and talked to each other, and if they became friends, they became friends for the most part, or they just think of each other as respectful co-workers, even if they don't see them too often. So, okay, so that's the ground level, but I'm talking about upper management stuff. Oh, well, to be fair, I don't think Platinum has ever directly asked the current producer of Devil May Cry, hey, can we make the next Devil May Cry, or can we do some form of a crossover? However, he reminded me of something I forgot about, because Capcom's North America's website situation is very dumb. And I'm saying that as someone who used to play a lot of their games. Their website situation has always been very, very stupid compared to the Japanese version. Literally, the Capcom website, almost going from like 1996 to 2002, was the same page. It was like stagnant. Then they had one overhaul. This is when Seth Killian got more involved, also from Chicago too. And Seth Killian started, trying to actually foster a community and supposedly encouraging behind the scenes a more functional, up-to-date Capcom website, which was kind of cool. However, there was also a forum section that that they have. Platinum used to have, or either still has, a account on that forum section. And and during the time of Devil May Cry 0, the Platinum Games account, and again, I'm not saying this was Kamiya, because it's just got account. It says P-Star. They still will not confirm or deny that it's their account, but it talks to nobody and it just speaks on Devil May Cry. And it said at one point, it's a shame to see what has happened to the things we used to love, or something like that. I used to have the screenshot, but then I realized, man, people didn't care about it. People only cared about that one statement that Itsuno accidentally made, where he said he was going to replace Dante with Nero, which still haunts people to this day, but that's a whole nother matter entirely.
Right.
Yeah, he did that in a whole interview. I was like, no, this man didn't just say that. And this is before 4 even came out. So yeah, but that's another matter. And I just like, listen, so you're telling me that no one just thought to pick up the phone and talk to somebody? It can't be that simple. Well, no, it's also a matter of, does the higher ups care about who's doing it? It's like, okay, look, I know I'm on the ground level, but you need to, I don't think you realize how vague you sound to me. I was like, can you please explain to me what you think you're trying to say in as plain English as possible? I don't speak English. I'm using a translator. Like, I'm sorry, that's a North American colloquialism. I phrased that wrong. Long story short, can you simplify what you're saying to me? And that's when he explained to me. The way Capcom looks at getting a game done is, well, to my knowledge, and this could have changed, and I'm not saying this is still canon, structurally correct, the way Capcom is run. They like to think up or plan about 7 games at a time. Not all simultaneously at once, but 7 years worth of content. So if they know that they're only going to do 4 games, they knew they were going to do those 4 games in a 7-year time span or something like that. When it comes to the big titles, the big titles. Right. There's also a franchising and licensing and merchandising department that was built up primarily by the president of Capcom back during the golden era, ironically the era that most of the Generation 1 and 2 people hated to work in, like Street Fighter 2 and all that. And that department is considered a very, very, very important department because, well, it's not because it makes money when video games aren't new. It makes money continuously, and before the advent of mobile gotcha money games, the merchandise department was thriving. Because if you stop and think about it, if there's one company who you will always see merchandise for in every single tax bracket, it's Capcom, Marvel, and Disney.
Right.
Yeah. So they've made sure that even if they can't make a top seller, they can get money off their franchising and merchandising section. So it's really easy to get licenses and approval. But to my knowledge, and mind you, I don't work in that department, at no point in time did Platinum Games just call up that department at all, ever. But at the same time, at no point in time did the producer of Devil May Cry, or at least a dude who went from, games 2 through 5, call up Platinum Games and say, hey, do you want to do it? Also, Hideki Kamiya and Itsuno have met, and they've confirmed that they have a mutual respect for each other. So literally, no one knows why it hasn't happened. They're just not asking. And that kind of annoys me. Because it's like saying, you know what? Hey, I got this peanut butter, but I don't have chocolate. And you stand in front of the Nutella restaurant owner. We have a Nutella restaurant in Chicago.
Right.
I don't know
That's
how
cool.
people haven't died from diabetes, but and you walk and you see this giant peanut butter truck, and the restaurant owner looks at you and says, "Oh, hey, that's some nice peanut butter you got there. Yeah, that's some nice hazelnut you got there." And they just don't interact, and then when the green light goes, he just drives off into the sunset, bro.
Right.
Just
okay.
do it. I hate to sound like a Shia, but just do it. Don't let my dreams be just dreams.
Dreams.
Just ask. I see. Damn. But there's no confirmation that no one's asked. And that's what annoys me.
I see.
Everyone says that, oh, we've talked to each other. Well, did you ask what everyone wanted you to ask? No. And then there's no reason why. They just didn't. But when Bayonetta is involved with Sega, and they see Shin Megami Tensei, oh, hey, Dante's in Shin Megami Tensei. Hey, can we get Bayonetta? Okay. Well, motherfucker. What?
Straight up.
Like this is the definition of a cock tease right here. But yeah, that's what's happening with the crossover chaos. It's a headache. I try not to think about it because I know it's one of those things that'll keep me up at night, because every time I bring this up to somebody, they will always say, I wonder what new weapons Dante and Bayonetta will get. Don't you send me down that rabbit hole.
I see. Like, it's just the inability. Like, they haven't said anything about it, and I think it would be pretty cool.
Oh my god, it's so annoying.
Yeah, is it because they're so busy with other projects, or do you just want the?
No, it's literally, to my knowledge, it's literally just because the left hand didn't ask the right hand, and the right hand didn't ask the left hand.
So it's just no conversation about it. Like,
yes,
over there,
that's literally it, and that's what bothers me. You're using some of the same staff. The directors respect and like each other a little bit. Kamiya has never said that he feels like Devil May Cry 3, Devil May Cry 4, well, yeah, he spoke about Devil May Cry 4, or Devil May Cry 5 were garbage games and pieces of shit. He's done nothing to warrant any direct ire from the Devil May Cry producer or an executive producers and all that. So literally, there's a big wit that said, these guys are not allowed to do it because we're salty, they left us still. And if they're even around, or it literally just could be Platinum is too scared to ask, because, you know, hearing nothing is better than hearing a no for some people. That's how I feel about it. That's what I think.
Okay. I'm pretty sure like that's probably it, like those two reasons, and why they're not doing it. As you said, like, it's not that they're not busy, it's just that there's no conversation about it. And people have been asking a demand for it, but it still bothers me, and I'm pretty sure it just keeps you up at night. Like, how come there's no conversation about it?
No, the biggest issue is that we don't know how to possess bodies, because we haven't gone into Maximilian Dude's body, which for some reason Capcom loves. And I don't think he's an asshole, don't get me wrong. Man, is that dude tall. He's like 6'5". Holy shit.
Wow.
Yes, Max is tall. You can spot him coming around the corner at E3. But here's the thing, like, it's because the people who have influence, or rather who have notoriety, haven't made a hashtag free Bayo Bete or free Danyo. Like, I'm for that one. Hashtag Danyo. I want Dante Bayonetta in something together that's not a gotcha money gamble game. I don't care if it's an RPG. I would die if it's an RPG. I would die happy, especially if it's an action RPG. Make a Tales of game where it's literally Devil May Cry and Bayonetta. I'm gonna have a nice dream tonight. And and I'm just like, we don't have people like you with like 1 billion more subscribers who just think to themselves, hey, let's get this stuff going. Let's get this petition. Let's get this free Marvel. Let's jump on the free Smash, free Marvel. Let's call it free Danyo or Danyo. Just something that's directly correlated. And you know what? Make Ryu Hayabusa a guest star. Let's get the whole family in there.
Has Maximilian vouched for that, like a Bayo / Dante crossover? Has he ever like asked for that? Like,
no,
I'm pretty sure he has the bargaining power.
There's even artwork, dude. Literally, I promise you, 1 in 20 artwork of Bayonetta is gonna have Dante in it. It's gonna have Dante in it. One of the most famous pictures is Dante sitting in a chair, and then Bayonetta is looking at him like, "Hey, it's time to go to the bedroom. I'm the queen of that throne." And then there's another one someone just made of Bayonetta giving her gun to Dante in Rodin's bar, and he's inspecting it. And I'm just like, we all want this.
Yeah, exactly. You want to see that fan service. You want to see that interaction.
Yes.
Would you prefer it to be? Would you mind if it was canon? Would you mind if it was not canon? Like
look. And this is gonna sound like a cop out, and you're not the first person to ask me, and my answer is not gonna change. I don't care as long as it exists. I don't care if we make up some new alternate dimension BS rule where Dante and Bayonetta meet. I don't care if it's a crossover game and Bayonetta's a guest star, but once she stays on, Dante always interacts with her. Just give me those two in an action game. And for the love of God, please stop trying to limit things and call them character action games. I know the term is famous. I don't know who made that term famous. I wish I could throw them in a dumpster, but that's not actually a thing. That defies logic because that would imply character is the primary genre and action is the subgenre. Character is not a genre. It's a type of being or an avatar. It's an action game. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Did it just crash? Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, man.
Oh, that was you? I thought that was me.
I'm not too sure. Like, it probably was me, but I can hear you now, so.
Okay, I was like, oh, man, Discord can't handle the fangasm I'm giving it. But
no, go ahead. So
yeah, in short, my answer is basically, I don't care how I get them. I just want an action hack and slash, an action RPG, an action something that these two are the primary protags. Yeah,
I get you. Yeah. I love that answer. Thank you.
Yeah, like literally, if it played like a Tales of game and it had the co-op, which I don't know why all these people think that I didn't notice that everybody out here saying this is the best Tales ever, bro. They literally took out the 4-player and the 3-player and the 2-player. They pulled the Final Fantasy 15. I'm not stupid. No one's mentioning it. And here we are in the same context with these action games. There's no reason Ryu Hayabusa can't have Dante as a guest star and vice versa. There is something that just stops crossovers when it becomes out of company for action games, and I've always thought that was weird.
Okay.
Double Dragons and Battletoads can have a game together, but ever since then, nobody had a game together. Literally nobody. What about the Kunio series and all the River City stuff? That's still one giant franchise. They're crossing over with themselves. That's not the same thing. It's very disturbing. This is the one genre where a crossover is practically non-existent, and I really want that to change. Tear down those walls.
Exactly. Do you think it'll ever come by probably when Bayonetta 4, Bayonetta 5 comes out? Does Bayonetta have to? Yeah. Keep going.
Here's what I think, and I'm glad you asked me that. I think that what's going to happen is they're going to finish the entire game, and then someone's finally going to go to Capcom and say, hey, look, can we make Dante a guest character? Can we make Trish a guest character? Something like that.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be the closest we get. It'll be non-canon, but you can use him in, the online or offline co-op if they bring back that same mode. I hope they do. Or you can use him in place of Bayonetta in the story mode, but when you get to a cutscene, it'll show the default Bayonetta instead of Dante. And I think if that's the best we're going to get, at least for the foreseeable future, because like I said, they're just not talking to each other for no reason ever given.
Yeah, right. I see.
All they say is, well, I mean, if Capcom asked us to, motherfucker, did you go ask?
Did you ask? I know, right?
Exactly.
Did you ask?
Yeah. That's how I feel about it. Now,
that's cool.
Yeah. Now for the big four. Okay, so number 4. Now let me put you in the mindset real quick because I just did this like 20 minutes before you picked up the phone.
That's all right.
You're playing John. It's the end of Bayonetta 1. That giant rocket ship, which is made of some type of ethereal materials, because as we know, there is traditional gold and then there's halo metal or angelic metal material, which are two different things, right?
Correct.
We don't know how those halos are made, and those halos never match the type of halo that the angels have over their heads. But when you're going up that rocket, which is supposedly powered by fossil fuel, what happens when it breaks apart? You see a bunch of human-like characters hugging each other and being next to each other, and they're propelling that rocket. But also, when you touch them and they start dissolving and fading off and disconnecting from the rocket, what happens? They turn into a green color. So you got a humanoid-like substance that went from gold to a tealish green color, being used to produce or project some type of ethereal energy. Now look at those. Now look at that big fat boy. Well, I'll just call him Sumo Boy for the time being. Look at Sumo Boy, which Bayonetta fights when he forms up in Bayonetta 3 trailer. He's a green humanoid blob coming together.
Correct.
And then they turn into a solid, or they can turn into a liquid. I'm just like, I think that there is some type of way to manipulate and utilize the energy of the soul. Maybe halos, in some level, are more than just, obviously they're more than a currency or a status symbol. What if the halos have some type of canonical connection to forms of energy or being able to present energy? Because the bigger the halo, as we've learned, with the exception of Aesir, the bigger the halo, the more dangerous and powerful the angel was or the boss was.
Correct.
So I think that, because it also, we learned that people sacrifice themselves for Jubileus and stuff. I think that these aliens, well, now this is why I think they're aliens, they just know how to harness that same power. And the reason they know how to harness this same power primarily could be from something that we don't realize. Because as far as we know, there's no logical reason why Rodin is the only weaponsmith or demon smith or angel smith, if you will. Technically, I'm not sure if he would count as an angel smith, but guess what? We've never actually seen a full-fledged angel smith. What if there is somebody out there who is an angel smith, and since realities are all messed up, instead of gaining power from living demons and demonic energy or angels and angel energy like Rodin tried to do, they decided, wait a minute, why don't I use everything? Or why don't I just use humans? I can now do the one thing that I can never do. I can take a human and bring them into the angel world and angel smith them. Or I can bring a full-on human to the demon world, not in soul form, their full physical form, and I can weaponize them. I think that maybe, you ever watch Power Rangers growing up?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, you remember the putties? Like the great enemies made out of clay? What if somebody what if there's some other weaponsmith that just figured out that they can take all this excess energy that wasn't supposed to be there and they can warp it? Or better yet, and this is where the alien part comes in. All of Bayonetta 1, you were fighting in space. You were doing giant explosions and making noises in space. Who's to say there wasn't some extraplanetary being or a being that exists outside of the dimension, another deity, maybe the Purgatorial god, and they said, okay, I need to hit a proverbial reset button. Because if I don't, everything's going to collapse in and on itself. Now, another thing people don't remember, because again, this is 20 minutes ago for me. When you know that the world can fall into chaos or become unbalanced, where there's too much positivity or too much negativity, if one eye is more dominant than the other, or if one eye is projecting its power and the other one does nothing. But
imbalance. Yeah,
but Jubileus, Baldur said, while he was trying to make the eye not shut, wait a minute, don't do this. If you do this, you will create, for lack of a better term, chaos, because we'll have a Jubileus that will basically want to destroy everything until there's balance again. And while John's pulling out Cereza and getting executed, he says, then it's better to not wake this thing up at all. I think it is alive, and it's still alive, and we may see it again, because remember, we just saw it in soul form burning inside of the sun. That's not a confirmation it's dead. And let's not,
you can always come back.
and plus the way they phrased it, it kind of seems like if Jubileus truly died, all of existence may end. So I don't think Jubileus is dead. I think Jubileus is just stuck or stuck in the gravitic field of the sun. Or maybe, like I said, some extraterrestrial force wanted to find out what the hell is going on over here. Why is the moon got a giant machine inside of it? Which I'm pretty sure you touched on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for referencing that.
Yeah, because I've been following your channel for a long, almost since you only at like subscriber 100 or something. But
really?
But here's the thing. I don't remember exactly all of what you said. But I think that, because that's one of the things that, ironically, as you know, Ruben loves alien stuff, and I'm one of those people, like, I refuse to believe that we're the only sentient life, but I don't know, I'm not exactly trying to look for it, because what if it's a douchebag and it hates us and it's got better technology? Exactly. They don't have to be our friends.
True.
There's this device that has been theorized to exist, and I forgot what it's called, but it's a true thing that telescopes and scientists have noticed, that there's some form of a star or maybe a planet where the light rotates downward and across like a scan. Like it's scanning north-south and then it goes across east-west.
Wow,
It should not exist. And no one, but we don't have a telescope strong enough to see exactly what it is, but we know a star or any form of energy is not supposed to do that. What if these guys were inside of that moon and they saw, or they were imprisoned by the Lumen Sages, or they were imprisoned by the Umbran Witches, or the Umbran and Lumen Sages had some war that we're not going to be told about until Bayonetta 3, where they had to combine forces and they had to stop this thing, and that's why whatever that thing is inside the moon.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Oh, man, I love this.
Whatever, and in Bayonetta 1, that thing got out. But the reason it wasn't a threat in Bayonetta 2 yet is primarily because Adhere was still there. It's like, oh, wow. Yeah, you really fucked up, bro. How about you stay there? And he put some stasis barrier, or maybe he teleported them off somewhere in the deep space and whatnot. And these things either A, they want their revenge, or they want to just destroy the eyes of the world for some reason. Because as far as they're concerned, the eyes of the world don't need to exist. All life should just be managed by itself. And they think primarily, if we destroy this, everything's going to be fine. There will be no true gods. There will just be different species and whatnot. There are so many options. And that's why I say, I feel like this is some aliens who might have tried to mix their technology with the new dimensional auras and powers that are around. Because there's too many incomplete instances of Bayonetta's lore not explaining something, not because nobody asked, but because it feels like it wasn't told to Bayonetta yet, so there was no reason to tell us. Like, theoretically, Bayonetta could have already asked Rodin, hey, Rodin, what the fuck are you 10, 20 years ago? Remember, we don't know how long they've met. We just know it's been over 10 years, right? And Bayonetta already knows, but everyone else doesn't. You know?
Yes, correct.
So as far as I'm concerned, John may know about a war that happened where the Lumens and Umbran teamed up against a great threat, stuck it in the moon, or they launched it into space, and now it's back because whatever was stopping them,
I love that. Okay.
whatever power was stopping them no longer exists because the power was related to the eye of the world, the left eye or the right eye. And since it's unbalanced, they're like, okay, let's come in and take over, or let's go beat that thing up so we can never get sent off again. I feel like there's going to be a third, I don't want to say entity, but a third regime or a third not corporation, a third damn it, not witch,
like a guild, allegiance.
Yes, some type of tertiary, I think that's the correct term, some type of tertiary organization, religion, or magical entity. Because think about it, we still have yet to see warlocks, and basically warlocks are basically male witches. We still haven't seen, there's some third group that's coming in, and they're capitalizing on the chaos that old Bayonetta accidentally created. And that's why I kind of think we might get the other Bayonettas back, or we may get weapons that normally wouldn't have existed. Because as far as we know, there's no direct explanation why Bayonetta does not utilize her old weapons, other than they used to work on Capcom logic. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Capcom was the king of having old characters get new weapons and never explaining where the old ones went for literally eons. Literally eons. We didn't really get explanations of nothing for 40 years. The only exception is Devil May Cry, and that took them almost 15 years to explain. Dante sells his old demon weapons to get money, to pay for things in between getting jobs. That's still a little bit crazy for someone like him to do, because what if the demon possesses the human or some shit like that? Also, who was he selling them to? As far as I'm concerned, he could be selling them to Rodin, but you know, they'll never let that happen.
Ooh. No, not even a conversation about it.
So
like, I see. I love the fact that there might be there's someone out there. I love that archetype of like they've been there since the very start, but they're only showing up now. And now that Adhere is gone, they can come in. It's free real estate for them.
Because think about it like this: on Earth, there was no true guardian. There was just, if a demon shows up, it shows up. If an angel shows up, it shows up, and they won't be visible, but they'll still be able to interact if they choose to. But the demons have a harder restriction or placed on them, and we still don't know who's doing that, but they just do. The way I look at it, maybe a godlike entity said, you know what, you guys are the worst ones out of the bunch. You gonna stay below everybody. So really, we got 4 factions, but we don't have 4 representatives of the 4 factions. So then also you get to the end of Bayonetta 1. There's something inside the moon that they acknowledge is there, and they won't explain what its purpose is for. Then you get to Bayonetta 2. Bro, last I checked, Bayonetta 2, the moon somehow fixed itself, or or either the moon just somehow forgot that it had a giant gaping hole in it, because the moon in Bayonetta 2, I think 1 time or 2 times you see it, it's perfectly normal again. But here's the thing I'm gonna tell you. We don't actually know what caused Bayonetta's stuff to go berserk, her demons to go berserk at the beginning of the game inherently. All we know is the entire moon turned red. I think whatever this third group was, while she was doing his dirt on Earth, or Lopter was doing his dirt on Earth, this guy was messing around, or that entity was trying to mess around and try to get out of or gain power on the moon so they can come back. And in Bayonetta 3, because of you accidentally doing something that benefited them, they now can.
Correct. I mean, that's cool. I like that. That oversight.
Yeah, because in Bayonetta 2, she says, "Illumine Sage." Oh, well, you're quieter than the last one I met. I think that's not Baldur, first and foremost. But why is she fighting in that war? What if that war? Huh?
Interesting. I was saying interesting.
What if that war, because everyone talks about this scene is not in the rest of Bayonetta 2. What if Bayonetta again goes back in time, because it's the Bayonetta 2 her, and she's in that Umbran Lumen war where they had to fight this entity that was in space, because she got sent back in time by whoever can send people back in time in Bayonetta 3. And the primary one, the present one, is fighting the threat in the present, or trying to do something that helps her stay in the past. And the future one, if we get a future one, or we just get another one, is going to help her out as well. So that can still tie into your theory where we get 3 of them.
Oh, thank you. Oh man, that's so cool. You're making my spine shake, man. I love it.
Yeah, and that's how I look at it. Like, there has to be another force, because first off, everyone likes to think that maybe this is the new John once the timeline got messed with, but no, this may be a John from the future who's going back to when this threat first started and is trying to get help.
Correct.
Because if she truly, because people say like, oh, she's probably, everyone's, oh, she's gonna try to kill Bayonetta. And I was like, well, first off, that kind of sort of got started by you. Or they said, oh, it's John's new form, or oh, it's a new playable character, and they're gonna do the traditional Japanese stereotype of, I'm gonna hate you at first for no logical reason, and the second and third time I fight you, I'm gonna help you and become a secret playable character. Don't worry, it happens all the time, especially with Kamiya. But here's the thing I'm looking at. Here's how I look at it. They have the doll that Cereza has in a keychain format as a little like Lucky Charm trinket thingy. Well, here's the thing. If you hate Bayonetta, you're not going to have that on your weapon. And as you notice, there's some similarities to this weapon to one of the giant myths. I know everyone likes to say myths, but the myths that we're dealing with. But here's what I think about it. I think Rodin is in the future, or someone else in the future learned how to make weapons out of this weird amalgamation of human, demon, and angel. And this person is coming back into the past and trying to give you those weapons, because a lot of your shit isn't going to be effective on the big guys or something like that. For all we know, she may have to do the demon fusion, because she realized nothing from the earthly realm is truly hurting these things, including magic. So you either got to have angelic, or you got to have demonic, or you got to have this new third power and entity. That's how I look at it.
I see.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I think future John is a huge possibility, and it really links really well with the bigger threat that we were fighting. I like the tie with the Records of Time, the end chapter that you put in. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I love it, man.
And that's how I think we get our because I know it's been a while since we mentioned, but that's how I think we get our question 3 characters. I think they're going to be playable in the story, and that's what I think they're going to be from. They're going to be future versions of the characters, or they're going to be relatives of the characters in the future, and they've got new weapons and things that these guys can use because they can't touch them. And I think for the first time, Rodin is actually going to get involved, because Rodin realized, okay, this is a new kind of threat.
We need something. We need help.
Yeah. Or either he's just curious, how can I make these guys into a weapon, because he's got an opportunity he's never had before, the fusion of human, demon, and angel. Yeah. So basically weapons that are meant for someone like him, because technically he's all 3 at this point. All right. Correct. And yeah, so for my 3 and 4 combined into 1 for the most part, but I don't think we're getting palette swaps this time. I think there will be a classic Bayonetta, a Bayonetta 2, but they'll be using their default weapons. But I think we're gonna have genuine characters for the story mode, and I also think that it's because of these aliens that may have gotten triggered by the moon getting shot at, right?
Okay.
Now for number 5, do I think Rodin is Lucifer,
Can't wait to hear this.
or a being that can move between dimensions? Okay, let me just say this real quick. First and foremost, Rodin already existed in the form that he is before Bayonetta 1 even happened. Something fucking killed him, which terrifies me, because we still have no confirmation what killed him. And when it killed him, and when it killed him, that's when he officially gained the ability to move between heaven, earth, and hell. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because if he could just move between hell freely, like is implied in Bayonetta 2, guess what? He would have never needed to be revived in Bayonetta 1. Then on top of it, bro, he is literally seen in the beginning of the game doing all this damage after coming back from the dead. And if you stop and think about it, he's never pretty much important again. The closer he gets is that cutscene where Bayonetta says, "Stay out of my way too, or I'm gonna, as the Americans put it, bust a cap in your ass." I cannot tell you how many times me and my friends laughed at that.
When it first came out as well.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about like last week. I'm talking about like 2 months ago. That is still funny to us.
Oh, still funny.
Oh my God. Because there's always someone new to Bayonetta because no one had a Wii U. So when I can convince my friends to get into Ninja Gaiden, Bayonetta, and Devil May Cry, literally the first time all 3 of these have been on one system, it's beautiful.
Correct. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people think, well, it's been on PlayStation. Like, no, but not the same system at the same time. So
exactly. Now it's on Switch now. So.
Yeah, all of them, which is crazy. If you told me Nintendo would have had all these 10 years ago, I would have pointed and laughed at you. So yeah, so I think that Rodin was already going to try to make demonic weaponry. He already has a system to do it. He found a way to utilize music to pinpoint some type of frequency or something. There's no logical reason why Rodin needs music to conjure or find the demons that he does. Okay? And then on top of it, he makes the weapons in hell, not in his shop. He sells them in his shop. He makes them in hell. Or at least that's where we've seen him. Well, here's what I'm thinking. I think Rodin has to, for lack of a better term, guarantee or make sure these demons never escape their weapon prison. Because as we learned with Madama, what was her name? The one that turned into the whip, Alarun?
Alarun, yep.
Yeah. As we learned with her, they don't die when they're in those forms, like in Devil May Cry. They can be dead or they can transform in Devil May Cry, but in here, they're alive.
Right.
If he keeps the weapon in demonic world, who's to say the demons won't get out? Right? But the way I see it, keeping them on the earthly realm or in the angelic realm depowers the consciousness that's inside of them from being able to escape. Because here's the thing, even if Bayonetta wasn't around to buy these weapons, Rodin would still be making these weapons. Remember, he didn't plan on giving Alarun to Bayonetta. He just was making Alarun, and Bayonetta showed up and said, you know what, bring it back when you're done.
Try it out.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally what he said, bring it back when you're done. And I'm just sitting up here like, quite literally thinking to myself, wait a minute. He was making a weapon that wasn't for Bayonetta, but he doesn't even use his own weapons. He uses his own rings and bracelets, which I don't know how people didn't realize that Rodin is using those same bracelets and stuff. But who was he making them for? What purpose was he making them to do? If he has a hobby, I get it. So this is why I say mine is going to get darker than yours. I think Rodin wants to get revenge on whoever killed him, or he literally wants to get revenge on whatever constitutes God, or maybe the king of the kingdom of heaven, because there can be gods and there can be kings. We know that Jubileus, Lopter, they're considered gods, but we don't know who the rulers of these places are. Who is the ruler of hell? We don't know. All we know is Alarun became a queen or the highest ranked female entity or something. We don't know anything about heaven, though. What if
there are portions? There are portions of heaven, the portion of inferno. So we have yet to see more rulers, like as you say.
Yeah. So what if in heaven there's only a male and female ruler, or what there's only a male ruler? And what if he sees Rodin and thinks it's funny that he kicked him out, and the only reason he can't kill him is because, well, Rodin's immortal. And then but he got fed up with him because he found out, hey, he was trying to make weapons engineered and designed to be able to kill him. Remember, that's why John has a weapon. To my knowledge, there's no direct explanation to any weapons that John have, but John has a weapon called Angel Slayer. Who the fuck made that?
Correct.
Like, And I'm not even saying this is rhetorical. I'm like, do you actually know who made the weapon Angel Slayer?
Okay.
No, I'm asking you.
Oh no, you're asking me like so I'm pretty sure it was Rodin, right? Or is it someone else?
No, that's what I'm saying. And if you look at the lore, which I'm probably gonna do while I'm talking to you, if you look at the lore for Angel Slayer, it doesn't specifically say anything about who figured out how to make this and what demon was used to make this, and it's called the Angel Slayer. How do we know an angel wasn't used to make this? What if this is an angel weapon and we don't realize it? So I'm gonna just look this up because I can edit and fast forward this. Bayonetta Angel Slayer walkthrough lost chapter Bayonetta fandom wiki. Perfect. Angel Slayer is an unusual katana used by John and is her equivalent to Shiraba. Said to be the twin blade of the aforementioned demonic katana, its incredible power has been used numerous times to slay Laguna. Now Laguna is
Laguna, yep.
Yeah, Angela Paradiso, right? Or at least that's what it links to. Angel Slayer is expressed to be John's preferred weapon, being one of the other weapons she wields in combat against Bayonetta several times, along with All for One. This weapon existed before Shiraba did. John had this weapon. Or Rodin was secretly making weapons for John and Bayonetta, but here's the thing. We would have found that out by the time Bayonetta 2 rolled around, or at a bare minimum, Enzo would have met her.
Right.
One legend says that this is the twin sword of Shirab. I already said that. While the sword did not contain the soul of a demon, the Angel Slayer displayed incredible power. However, the sword and the witch in whose hand it was held, both found themselves in Inferno. Eventually, the blade passed into the hands of Rodin, who was able to make up for its previous deficiency. However, it remains unknown what sort of demon the smith was able to seal away in this historic blade. Did I mention that the entire color scheme of Angel Slayer matches that of the new enemies?
The new enemies, I see.
And also they have
like
a green,
white, the gold.
also,
keep
and
going.
I'm gonna give you a link. And they also have a green teal aura going through the center of the blade. And whoever used this blade, angel or not, witch or not, gets sent to hell for using it. Bro, this weapon feels like it could be lost in time and came from the Bayonetta 3 era or the future beyond that when everything was combined. We don't know where this is from. We just know it's supposed to kill angels, and we know that there's no demon linked to it. That's crazy.
Only an angel slayer, which was a spirit of a previous Umbran witch.
Yeah. So for all we know, this weapon might just be powered literally by an Umbran witch, whereas Shiraba is a living demonic katana. We know Shiraba is demonic. We don't know anything about Angel Slayer other than its color scheme, kind of similar to everything that's going on in Bayonetta 3. And that's one of the things that really sat down and make me, I don't know if you'll get mad at this or not, but my friends called it like, Zax, you just pulled a straight Rakun just now. Because I explained this to somebody last week. I was like, wait a minute. Did y'all notice that these enemies are colored like Angel Slayer? Well, yeah, what about it? It's like, well, Angel Slayer has no color and no connection to any form of a demon. But if you use it, you go to hell. What if you're going to hell because if you use an angel to commit murder or violence, ironically, they always try to murder witches and demons, you go to hell. Bro, don't pull a Rakun right now.
Oh no!
That's what they said.
Used as a name. I'm flattered, but
it
I'm
basically
pretty sure
means going down a theory wormhole specifically relating to Bayonetta.
I'm not too sure if that's I'm pretty sure it's an insult, but like
they meant it as an insult, but I kind of felt like a compliment. But that's what I'm saying. It's up to you how you feel about it. You know.
Okay. Well, I'm flattered. I'm flattered.
Yeah. No. Thank you. Now, the way I see it, I think Rodin has just been trying to make weapon after weapon and acquiring weapon after weapon that was already existed, so he could combine them or get their energies to make one giant demonic weapon or an anti-angelic weapon to go and kill whoever is running this place. Because you got to think about it, Rodin hasn't been able to go home in millennia.
Right.
And he made friends with Bayonetta. Why wouldn't you? He says he's not involved in shit. I think what he's really saying is he don't want to deal with the angels because they're his family. Because look at what he said in Bayonetta 1. You don't want to deal with me, man. I'm not worth your time. He yells at them to scare them away. And then when they come back, he doesn't necessarily kill them. He baseball swings them back into heaven or space.
Right. He hasn't actually killed any angels that we've ever seen.
People keep forgetting.
That's a good point.
The only time he kills angels is non-canonically when we're in the 2-player co-op mode. He doesn't. And I'm thinking he reluctantly respects Bayonetta because, well, she's my brothers and sisters or lesser beings and pets from his dimension are trying to kill him. But he knows this is the perfect opportunity to test out weapons meant to kill them and have her do it, because Rodin is one person. Rodin has only so many hands and arms that we know of and wings. So Rodin can't necessarily break off a piece of himself, because let's say he does break off a piece of himself, he depowers himself. So he can make a weapon. So instead of making a weapon strong enough to kill the God King of heaven, of which, you just made yourself mortal? Okay, I can just kill you the normal way now. He needs to find a way to make weapons that let him keep his power so he can use that weapon and fuck them up. But once he does that, he still needs the final piece. He lost his ability to move to the angelic realm. But possibly through Bayonetta, he can do that. So really, he's got all the pieces he needs to kill the ruler of heaven. He just has to make sure that Bayonetta doesn't die. He makes the perfect weapon and the time is right. And if you think about it that way, it's really messed up and kind of dark. But
I love that. I love it.
Yeah, but that's also because there's no reason why an immortal has to run a fucking bar if he just wants to make weapons that kill angels and all day. I see.
So your perspective is like there must be some underlying ulterior motive
revenge.
Of why he's doing. Yes,
cold-blooded revenge, the kind that only gods and immortals can have. You may hate the guy.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, you can hate the guy that stepped on your toe and didn't do nothing about it or acknowledge you for a week. But if somebody kills you and takes you from your home and you're immortal, what else would you do when you wake up in the morning other than plot their demise?
Exactly. You think about it. You know, it haunts you. Exactly. I like that, man. Oh, congrats on that theory. I think that's a really cool. I hope they reveal something.
Yeah, and that's why I say that I think he is Lucifer, and the primary reason he can move between dimensions is literally just because he found out when he died that his body or his soul doesn't go to heaven, so that would have been his only one reprieve. So Bayonetta or maybe just Enzo, he told them before he died or while he was dying, hey, listen, this is how you bring me back from the dead. And it also ties into, and this is why I say some of my questions fuse together, it also ties in number 6. I think that's why he's in the bar, because Lucifer is mad that his dad kicked him out of heaven. Now, I don't know if Rodin's name can be anagramized or retranslated to mean something else, or maybe it's a Nimrod or just something, or maybe it's a red herring, but I think that Rodin's real name is not Rodin. Because first off, if you have a real name, everybody knows you ain't got a one-parter. You either got a two-parter or you got a first, middle, and last name. All we know is Rodin's first name. We don't even know Bayonetta's last name.
That's true.
We just know Cereza. Keep going. Yep, what's the rest of it?
Correct.
Yeah, so that's what I think. I think he's a Lucifer allegory, or he is Lucifer in disguise. And he's trying to make enough power to become literal Satan or change his name to Satan and go and kick God's ass. And even if he doesn't want to rule the kingdom of heaven, he wants to live there because that's where he's from.
Yeah, and his revenge, as well.
Yeah, but if he does it, it'll trigger, or it'll help to trigger what's going on in Bayonetta 3. So maybe you have to fight Rodin temporarily until he realizes, okay, I need to stop. I need to help in a different way. I can get what I want at a later date or something. Now, as far as the final part, gushing, what I want to see, I'm going to tell you right now, I want to see weapon fusions, and not just old weapons mixed with other old weapons. I want to see these new weapons upgrade and transform. I'm tired of, here's one weapon, but guess what? You want to get a better version? Oh, let's just duplicate it. Nah. You've been lazy long enough. You've been lazy long enough.
True.
Look at Angel Slayer. Angel Slayer, or not Angel Slayer. Look at a Rodin weapon. It always transforms into other weapons and you use them. So they already got the framework to have a weapon do more than one thing. Well, what if, think about it, Rodin's weapon is always a armband or a ring. What if you put it on one of his demonic weapons, you gain the ability to switch to that weapon as like a finisher of a combo.
Mm-hmm.
So now,
okay. I get you. Yeah.
And you can use like L2 or R2 mixed with some other button, and now you can switch which weapon is the primary and the dominant. So what I mean is, let's say, and this is a hypothetical, you got the Alaroon whip and you got the hammer, but you press one button, the hammer is the dominant one and Alaroon comes as the finisher. So maybe you swing the hilt of the hammer around and the Alaroon whip comes out, so you can pull enemies in closer to you and you can hurt them that way, or you can finish them with the hammer even though they normally would be too far away. Dude, that's really what I was doing when I had Bayonetta anyway. I had Alaroon on my feet, and when I went to hit somebody with my hammer, I know they gonna dodge this shit, but if I yank you in like I'm Scorpion, you gonna get over here and you gonna get this hammer to the face.
I love it. Okay. Yeah.
But now if you press the other button, now you got them switched. So now you're swinging the hammer at the end of Alaroon. Your attacks are really slow, but they do stupid damage.
Yes.
You know? And that's one
and
weapon.
Imagine. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done. That was what I was gonna say.
Oh, like along with that around holding Takumi Kazuchi, like imagine it during Witch Time, or imagine during using the Bracelet of Time. I would say that would be pretty cool.
And another one I had was the secret weapons specifically fused with one another. And this one you're gonna like. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I'm pretty sure it's a well-established fact. Possibly the most famous Asian man to ever exist is Bruce Lee. But have you seen the picture of Bruce Lee in the world of Star Wars?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh man, this is a legendary picture. This picture has been around forever. Someone even went and made and redid one of his fight scenes based on this one picture that they made.
Let's see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. There's literally a whole entire chain of images about it.
Let's see. Oh, okay. I've never seen this before. That looks cool.
Bro, Pillow Talk and Sci-Fong. That's Pillow Talk and Sci-Fong.
Keep talking.
So you use Sci-Fong and it's normally acting like Sci-Fong. But now when you charge it up, you get two options. You can transform it into Pillow Talk where the beams come out of it and you swing it around. Or you can charge it up again to the third level and you can launch the stuff around. So now you got the projectiles running around there ricocheting, but they also have a piercing effect and a stun ability. But while that's happening, you can still fight normally. So now you've activated two modes. You've got the close range mode, which feels the most like regular Sci-Fong. And then you've got the energy mode where, as you're hitting people with this, you get the ricochets coming out and they're beating enemies up on the side. So you fight one guy, but the bullets are beating up the guy on the left side, the guy around the corner, and his baby mama. Like, you don't lose.
There we go. Like, how would you attain such a weapon?
What would
the challenge be for that?
Old school rules.
100%.
Beat hard mode.
100%.
Or beat normal mode 100 times.
I see.
Because that's how you get Sci-Fong anyway. That's how you normally get Sci-Fong. You have to beat normal mode 100 times, and I think it was maybe a glitch, but in the PS3 version, and don't quote me on this, if you just beat hard mode the normal way, Sci-Fong would just manifest or show up. I'm not sure. Okay. Because when I got Sci-Fong the first time, I just beat hard mode. However, I could have hit that 100 chapter quota, but it didn't take me 100 chapters to beat hard mode. You know, I was young at the time.
Yeah. No, but like I understand that. I think that kind of weapon would definitely have such old school rules. And you have Hideki Kamiya being the executive director now. Cool flex, executive director.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what that means, but it's a cool flex.
Thanks, man. Like I think he's back in. You know, gonna have a lot of the Bayonetta 1 tropes return in Bayo 3, and that old school style that you said, 100%. I think that's how it's gonna work with the secret weapons. Yeah,
and the last thing is, bro, I want the ability to do offline co-op in fucking story mode. The Devil May Cry fan base is both spoiled and unfortunate, and I'm gonna explain that. If you go and you look up anything involving Devil May Cry combos on YouTube, all the big ones are the PC mod ones. Bro, someone made the ability to play Devil May Cry 4 and Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition entirely with all 4 characters on screen.
Wow. As a mod, right? Yeah.
And this is before Devil May Cry 5, mind you. So one person is Trish, somebody's Nero, I don't know why, somebody's Dante, somebody's Lady. And you go through the whole game.
Yeah.
You go through the whole game.
Oh, the whole game. The whole game. What the heck? Okay.
And then they made it offline and online capable. And then, on top of that, bro, Oh my god. They get so much stuff. They have their own trainer mode, a real training mode, where it's not just here's this one enemy that's gonna spawn, fight it until you're bored. No, you can select the enemy. You could even select that frame rate, and you can select who you're playing.
Wow. Okay.
You could select how many of your playable characters are on screen. You could even set it up to where the characters control doppelganger style. So you can control Dante, but your inputs affect the Nero that's on screen or the Trish that's on screen. None of this is in the console versions. That's why I say they're both spoiled and salty. Because if you play the console games, you are jealous of the PC mod community on Devil May Cry. They put Sephiroth as a playable character in Devil May Cry 5. I'm not mad.
Yeah, 100%. But like, man, like they have so much time. Like, I mean, if you're that dedicated to have
you gotta remember, Devil May Cry 4, ironically, to Devil May Cry 5 is about 7 years. Bayonetta 2 to Bayonetta 3. How much time is that? About 7 years?
Yep.
Yeah, they had 7 years of playing this game to find ways to make it more interesting. Okay.
Oh man.
Now, with that being said, I definitely enjoyed having this conversation because no one else is going to listen to me theorize about Bayonetta pretty much, but you.
No, like it really, I really am honored to listen. I'm okay with listening, like honestly. I'm just like, I was gonna get a little bit emotional, but like, not many people reach out to do that.
Yeah,
to me.
it's just you.
Yeah, I just really like thank you so much for respecting me because I don't bash anyone on their theories or how this theory is better than this theory. No way, no, I don't like doing that.
Yeah, me neither. Like, and I like because here's the thing: the way I look at it, if you create optimism, that's the same as destroying creativity. So if you destroy someone's ability to think on any level, whether it's focus, technical, based in reality, or optimistic and dream, you destroy some level of creativity or their interest in being creative. And that is the worst thing that can happen to a human. A human who has no ability to be creative is a scary thing to me. So when I see somebody who basically, and I mean this with no disrespect, built up a whole channel on being able to theorize, I feel nothing but love and respect. And I just hate that there's so many people, and you haven't seen it, but there are people who just say, well, he seems desperate, and they'll sit up here and shit on you. But then they're subscribed to game theory.
Oh, man. You're going to make me tear up.
I'm like, just hypocrites, bro.
Oh man, like first off, I'm very sorry that you had to like see those people turn into those. Like, I think they just let it consume them. And at the end of the day, like we're just people, and we just gotta learn how to have fun and like enjoy each other's company.
Exactly.
How can we help each other? Like, I can vouch that a lot of my theories are like they're heaps, like a lot of them are bunkers, a lot of them are like fanfic and alternate universes and whatnot.
But people
like
like
at the end
it.
of the day,
That's what's important. People like it.
Yeah,
Fan fiction
some people
exists
like it,
because people like to see it.
Well, again, like you're warming my heart, man. Like, thank you so much. And also thank you for defending me. Not many people
No
do.
trouble, man. Absolutely no trouble.
Oh, that really means a lot. And I just hope that people can at least see our perspective, and before judging, hopefully you enjoy some of the content, and as long as you guys enjoy, like that's all I care about. And I just wish you great health and nothing but the best, man, honestly.